We are forced to believe what very evil people wrote down, or the historians that they commissioned. And if it's written, we have also been mind-controlled to believe it's true.
Right.
So the Romans and the Christians were not just into writing things down because for no reason. That was a very significant shift, by the way, because all previous people did not bother writing down history. The history was in their mind. They lived it. They lived it in their traditions, in the very way they cooked their food, in the way they built their houses, in their language. So if you find no traces of, say, this great Celtic world universal study that Jordan Maxwell has studied all his life, that I've been studying, there's a good reason. Is because we've had inserted a written form of history that we are compelled to believe. And yet we should be very skeptical about that, because the oral tradition was the one from the bards and the minstrels that has long, been erased today.
Right.
But the very fact that individuals did not even live past 25 years of age, think about it. It's extremely important. That was we are inheriting that lack of experience. So when wise people come to us and try to inform us about how our habitat, how we're under kinds of control, we don't accept it. If somebody comes and points out that, do you see that the owner of this dog, in teaching this dog, is changing its behavior, that we understand. If we're sitting in school and there's a teacher physically in front of us, we understand that our behavior is being changed by a teacher, because it's one-on-one. That's the normal way of training.
Right.
But suddenly, if somebody says, but you see, I can change the habitat of this anthill in the middle of the jungle or down in Africa, I can change the behavior of these gorillas or these termites, not directly, but I am changing the habitat of these entities, these creatures, far outside their level of understanding, on the periphery of their vision. But I know that in a few years, because I'm making these changes, their actual behavior is also going to change. Right. Then you go with a microphone and you interview the termite, and you say, "Excuse me, do you realize that you're being, controlled?" They go, "What are you talking about? Everything's going on perfectly normal in the anthill, in the termite hill. No changes. You're insane. Take yourself off."
Right.
So this is why there's so much of a knee-jerk reaction that you must be crazy if you're into these things, because you're trying to explain that it's happening on the periphery. So if you try to take people up the slope so that they can have a bit of a peripheral vision, they can have a view of how the matrix is run, they don't want to climb. They get out of breath. They want to murder you because you're trying to give them more light.
It's kind of like
because you're trying to say, look, if you just take a few steps up this mountain, I know it's hard, I know it's steep, I know you might skin your knees, but you see, you have to climb up a little bit, because then you're going to see a greater panorama. The beautiful reciprocal action of this climb is that, yes, it might be arduous, but you're going to have a tremendous view of the world order.
Yes.
Well, people go, no, but I'm happy down here on the vertical. I mean, on the horizontal. Why should I worry with all of that? I know I can't see further than my own block, that I'm relatively blind, socially, spiritually, and all of it. But it's convenient. It's too difficult.
It's kind of like trying to explain to animals that they're in a zoo, and that you've got this thing inside of you that knows there's a world outside of that zoo, but you can't make anybody believe it, and you yourself can't see it, and you get glimpses, and you've got internal memory of it, genetic memory.
Yes, you do.
And we know, and that sparks the spirit of rebellion.
And don't forget, it's not that we're saying that nobody doesn't ask these questions. Of course, a lot of people ask these questions and do want to climb and do want to say, where does this elevator go?
Yes.
But then we've got the parents going, oh, but don't touch that.
Yeah.
Or we've got the other side that comes and goes, oh, you don't want to leave. I know it's difficult, so guess what? We'll give you more gadgets to play with. Here's some new toys.
Right.
You don't need to go there. I know it's been a bit rough in the past, and that, we've slaughtered and murdered you and killed your forefathers. But listen, I'll tell you what. Here's a computer. Here's some gadgets. Here's cell phones. Here's a skateboard. Here's virtual reality. Here's this. Here's that. Here's TV. Right? It's not that I'm saying any of these individual things are bad, but it's all how you use them and what they're used for.
Absolutely.
But the idea is if these are just the chains of gold to replace chains of iron, well, then they're not very good. But it's no good screaming at the TV or the cell phone. You just go, okay, I understand what's happening here. These are meant to be toys to pacify me. I'm going to use them for what I need to use them for, but they're certainly not going to pacify me. In fact, I'm going to use them to get online and find out who's teaching the truth.
Right.
I'm going to use radio because I'm going to listen to Freeman Fly Show, and I'm going to listen to Art Bell, and I'm going to listen to Jeff Rentz, and I'm going to, hey, I'm going to, listen to what's going on. So it's about how you use these tools.
Yes.
The tools themselves, there's nothing wrong with them. But if they're there to say, oh, good, they've sweetened us up now, they've dumbed us down, then, of course, you have a problem. And a lot of people are taking this sugar coating and then turning their minds off.